My first guest today is Jens. I met him in Velvet about 5 years ago when he was performing there. He is a pianist, he's a piano teacher, he's a producer, and he's a really nice guy. Jens, I'm so happy that you come so people can get to meet you.
I'm very happy to be here.
It's lovely to have you here at Umbrellas in Marbella Arena, aka the Bullring in Nueva Andalucía. I've been seeing Jens a lot lately. Actually, I bump into you all the time. Last night in the Hogan stand where we bumped in for the quiz night, and you're my piano teacher now, which is very cool as well.
Yeah, that all works out.
It does, it does. And I love the style of your teaching of piano because it's not all this, well, I suppose you do everything. But at my age, to start doing scales and boring things, it's more like you're helping me understand what the music actually does. How did you get to understand music in this very unique way from a lot of people I've spoken to?
Yeah, I mean, that's true. I don't teach the classical way. I teach in a complete compound way because I was taught like that myself. I started having lessons when I was 6, Hammond organ and piano. And my teacher, he was a former jazz pianist who then educated himself in the classical way. So he had his own special curriculum that they also now adapt in Berkeley, in Berkeley, MIT, Music Institute of Technology. They do the same thing, where we've sort of compounded everything you need, finger exercises for the classical music. You need to play classical if you want to play rock music, because rock music is a modern day classical music.
No way.
Yeah, it is. There's not much jazz in it. There's not much soul. Rock music is very straightforward, and the way it's learned, if you want to learn it in a school, you actually have to read like you read classical music. But then there's improvisation. The other side of it is the jazz, and that's what you were talking about, where we get into explaining and explaining the fundamentals and learning some music theory so people can improvise on the piano, because that's really what you want to learn.
Yeah, you want to play.
Yes. You can roughly say if you train classical music only, you're going to go down the classical road. If you train jazz and rock at the same time, you're going to be able to take care of all the rest of the repertoire. All the non-classical stuff is mostly taken care of by jazz majors and not by classical musicians. And there are lots of traditional classical trainers, even here in Costa del Sol. If you want to have classical piano lessons, there are quite a lot. But if you want to get a piano education and really know what this is about, you got to train a little harder. But then I'm probably, that's what I do, and that's what I came to Marbella to do, because there's a lot of potential here. There's lots of musical people, lots of people who have the time, who are interested in art, who are interested in culture. And I thought, well, when parents want to train their kids down here, it cannot all be classical, because it will just go in the classical way. Marbella is not only about that type of music. Marbella is about everything.
But I don't think many people even consider this when choosing a piano teacher. If a child, or you want a child to learn the piano, I think a parent or just gets a teacher not knowing that this even matters. I mean, the things you told me, I'm just like, sorry?
What happens is that they very often have 3 to 4 years classical experience, and then they come to me. And the first thing they say to me, can you teach us chords and scales, and can you teach us how to improvise? I say, yes, that's exactly what I can do. So it's actually, if you have 3 to 4 years of classical training, you're very, very well prepared for receiving what I can give you. So it's not one thing doesn't exclude the other. I see classical training as a really, really good basis for all the other styles, bossa nova or jazz, or also rock and soul, all the other styles that are not strictly classical. Then you need to do this. So it's quite hard, and some of the things I do are quite boring but very effective. I've said to you, you remember I said the more boring an exercise is, the more effective it can actually be. You can actually train yourself up to play marvelously well just by practicing technique and get a little bit into the theory. And then you can start playing songs. In the classical school, we start playing songs immediately, song after song, piece by piece by piece. But the learning, the reasoning behind it comes a long time after. There's no improvisation in the classical school. There are solos, but they're written out. There's no such thing as improvisation. And in jazz and what we do in rhythmic, like improvisation is everything. You simply, if you were to play for somebody in recording in a studio or playing with a live band, you wouldn't be handed notation. They would play their music to you, and you'd be expected to contribute to that in that style. If not, they'll just hire somebody else who can do that. You're supposed to take it by ear, know your genre, know the style, and apply yourself accordingly. We don't give you detailed instructions, not in the music industry.
Was that how it was the other day when you recorded with a Lendl in the Mel's tribute at Louis Louis?
Yeah, it's totally the same.
Your piano teacher played. Should have been.
That's fun. Yeah, we've established a little sort of a thing, a '60s rock band. To tour around. We had a famous singer here years ago called Mel Williams.
I know him so well.
Yeah, probably.
So well.
He passed away, but his son has taken up the baton, and we've sort of formed a little band around him, and we'll see how that works.
I really wanted to be there, but 11 o'clock at night, I mean, this is for youngsters. It's like going out at 11, like the old days.
Yeah, but that's what we do. We're definitely not that young. We're in our middle-aged prime, I'll say. Yeah, so we got to get up. Yeah. We got to stay up late.
It's like you have to have a nap in the afternoon.
No, I just don't get up before 12.
That's the way to do it.
Absolutely.
But that's the thing in Marbella, isn't it? There are so many different worlds that live so many different timetables.
Oh my God, yeah. That is for sure. And my time schedule's all over the place. So I never know. I got students in the daytime, I have production in the daytime, I have production in the nighttime, I have...
And you also write jingles and I mean all kinds of things. I mean you've got a very...
Yeah, I mean I do everything. I see myself as a musical worker, so I educate people and I write articles about music and I produce music for people and I teach music production. We have, I got 4 or 5 aspiring music producers who have their own studios in and around Marbella, and I sort of tour around and show them the ropes.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What does a producer actually do? What do they
design music. Either a producer will produce a song. If you've written a song, a producer will set it up according to the style that you have talked about, that you would like to see here materialize in front of you. So. A producer will simply make the track for you, either while you are there or at your instructions.
So it's like an interior designer for your song.
Yeah. It's sound shaping. So you can either get into sound design, where you design sounds for gaming, or advertising, or feature films, or you can be a track maker. My stepson is a track maker, a very good one, and he makes drum and bass music, but does it for other people. Either he mixes full tracks or he makes tracks for them and then mixes it and master it. So
it's amazing how many professions are actually out there that most of us don't even think about. And it's important, I think, our kids also realize the possibilities they have if they're musically inclined.
That's very important what you're saying there, because this is the avenue. So if you train piano or keyboards well, this is the way you can go down. Not necessarily playing in a band like we did in the old days. I grew up playing in loads of bands, and the youngsters don't really have these possibilities today. Today it's everything. It's all about being self-contained, that you can play, you can also produce yourself, you can also sing, you can also master and distribute your own production, and you can collaborate with people that you find will contribute to what you're already doing. But youngsters don't grow up today in an environment where lots of bands are around them and they can play a little blues with that band. They could go over there and play some rock and roll with a rock band. When I was 22, I played in 8 bands at the same time. That's just not possible here, but in this day and age. But we have this advantage that you can work with people from other countries. You can work
being online now. You can teach online.
And
you
we
can
have
get together with other musicians.
Yeah, and I can hook up with video links, so I have the same sound quality in my studio as they have in theirs, so we can work directly. And when 5G arrives, it will be like being in the same room because it will be so fast. So some possibilities have like gone smaller, but then other possibilities have exploded, and you can now, as a keyboard player, do loads of stuff you couldn't do before. Play all the instruments on a keyboard, play drums on a keyboard, won't have to call other musicians and pay them because you will be able to play the entire thing yourself.
Does it sound the same? Isn't it different than when you have the real thing?
No, but it is the real thing. It depends on the genre. If I was recording a piece of rock music, it would save me time to have a drummer play it in and then send me the file. But I could spend 12 hours and program those drums myself. But it's just a time-saving thing to let a real drummer do it.
So it's a real #better together thing.
Yeah, it is.
Exactly. Just because you can do it all yourself doesn't mean to say you should or you have to.
No. That's where the collaboration come in. You do that. My students do that themselves when they're sat with something for a year and it's not growing the way then they think about collaborating with other people and getting other inputs. And it sort of works that way. So my students, they just have to be a little more broad-minded and find collaborators, which I'll help find for them, and then set up a little net in Europe where they sort of work with other people. And that's enormous. It's so exciting to be a part of that and to help facilitate that. And I'm the only one who are doing this in Marbella. I would love to work with other people and other teachers and other musicians of a certain level who can do the same, because then I think there's a huge potential in Marbella.
There is huge potential.
So many musical people here that it's unbelievable.
Jens, thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Really, it's an honour to know you.
Oh, it's an honour to know you, Nicole.
You're just so unique, and obviously what you do is unique, and that's what Marbella is all about. But we are better when we collaborate and support each other.
Absolutely.
So do give Jens a call if you're interested in knowing more about what he does.
Yeah, you're more than welcome.
How you can get involved. Jens, thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Thank you, Nicole.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Don't go away. Stay with me here at Umbrellas in Marbella Arena, aka the Bull Ring. We'll be back in a minute with more.